This is Eric Clark. Today is, what is today? The 9th, February 9th, 2026. So if you're a Seattle fan, you're happy. If you're a New England fan, you're sad. But it's a kind of sad football game to watch. Um, but welcome all. I wanted to do something today, and I want to do this once a month, and I think I'll try to always do it the second Monday of the month. Just want to go around the room and share about what is new, what is next. I think that's such an important thing to do within your own efforts as you meet people, as you shake hands. Jeff, as you go to the CCC event, as you're talking to somebody, it's a great opener. What's new, what's next, and learn about the individual. So I want to do that with us here today. Just what's new, what's next, and talk about it. And then I have a comment. I went back and I watched a little bit of last week's episode. Oh my gosh. I was cold and I was wearing a jacket, and I don't think I smiled one time during the whole event. It was really weird. So I apologize if my energy last week was low. It's probably just because I was cold. So let's just start. I'll start with Dana. Share with us what's new, what's next. And then, Jeff and Greg and Andrew, as you're listening, think about how can I bring added value to what she just told me? That's the intent. As you're listening to them, hear how can you bring added value? So, Dana, I'll let you take the floor. What's new and what's next?
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So what's new is last week I hosted an event for realtors locally here in Charlotte, and I also attended the Aspire event, which is a great business tour that goes all around the country. I actually ran into Robert Kiyosaki in a hotel lobby, even though I live here, it was in Charlotte. I was meeting some friends there to go over to a VIP dinner. And I sat down with him, talked with him. And if you guys don't know who he is, he wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. Um, he gave so many little nuggets of information, and we rode over to Ruth Chris in the car and just chatted away. And it was a really chance meeting. So that was really cool. So that it was a busy week last week with a bunch of events, a lot of contacts and really good relationships formed and opportunities. And what's next is I hope some more speaking events. I speak a lot on how to attract business through social media, how to create a magnetic brand, and how to have confidence putting yourself out there. And so more speaking events, and I have my book coming out in like 6 weeks called Burnout to Brilliance. And yeah, so I'm looking to make more connections, bring more value to audiences all over. I think people think social media is for like influencers and TikTokers, and it really can be such a catalyst to be able to attract your ideal audience instead of chasing business and having to um, you know, go after people. You've got people coming to you because they know, like, and trust you, and they know what your brand is and they know what you stand for. So that's what I help people do.
Create the funnel, bring them to you. This sure beats chasing. It's intentional marketing.
Correct.
Intentional marketing. Tommy, it's nice to have you join us. We're going around the horn today. It's going to be pretty quick and pretty simple, but we're sharing what's new and what's next. Andy Barkin, why don't you take the mic, sir, and share with us? You're muted. While you figure out how to unmute, uh, Greg, why don't you share with us what's taking place with you? What's new? What's next?
Uh, Went to a town hall meeting with the city of Lilburn last week. So I'm reaching out to them. They've got a lot of projects scheduled. They're basically redesigning the whole downtown area. They've already got an apartment building and a parking garage going, 266 units there. That's with range water. And then they're doing their own private development at First and Main, which is more apartments, and there'll be 4 commercial tenant spaces, which I'm hoping to get that work. So that's keeping
Are
us
you
busy.
providing the engineering architect work for that?
The architecture and the engineering for the tenant spaces would be good.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, get my foot in the door.
Well, good for you.
And we're
Congratulations.
getting ready to put a proposal up for someone who does a lot of gas stations across the state of Georgia. So that'd be nice repeat work if we get that.
Now let's talk about C stores. That's something I do a lot of site selection for. So let's make note of that.
Oh,
Barbara, you came in late. What we're doing, we're going around the horn. You and Michael, we're going to share what's new and what's next. The reason why I want to focus on that is because I found that conversation opened so many doors for myself. And I want to make sure that you're practicing the same thing because it's just a great way to learn about the person across from you. As you ask those questions, what's new, what's next, be thinking about and sincerely and honestly, how can I bring added value to them? Don't make something up, but think about how can you bring added value if you can. All right. So, Andy, it looks like you are ready to go. You raised your hand, sir. You got the mute off. It's all
Yeah,
yours.
good morning. I just want to make a quick comment on the C-stores because I have about a dozen here in Atlanta that are available for long-term ground lease, if that helps.
We
So
need to have
what
a
would you do?
conversation about that.
Um, Now, I am working on multifamily and mobile home park. I have a couple of listings I'm working on here in Midtown Atlanta. I should have one of them done this week. Working with another gentleman on selling a business under your umbrella. Um, I'll tell you what's new is I had been under the weather. I just got a clean bill of health and I'm ready. I have a whole new attitude. How about that?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And
Let's circle back on the C stores and let's circle back. Last thing you just said it was the C store. It was one more
mobile
thing.
home parks.
There you go. Okay. All right. So, Tommy Bracci, Mr. Texas,
Yeah,
who were you pulling for last night in the game, Tommy, or did you care?
I didn't care to be completely honest with
Yeah.
you. Um, I thought it was a relatively boring game to watch until the fourth quarter, but it was too late. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but with that being said, it was, not I'm cautiously optimistic about the Cowboys for the 30th year in a row. We'll see what happens. But no, joking
What's
aside, it's I guess what's new for me, most of my life work wise was put on pause for a week. Took my first vacation since probably about COVID. Was on a family cruise in the Bahamas for about 6 nights, so that was nice. Got back yesterday. But as far as what's next, it's kind of adding new product types, I guess, to the mix for what I deal with in a day to day. For those of you that know, I'm primarily in mineral rights and I accommodate commercial folks through 1031s. But the other avenue is, targeting family offices for alternative investments that are also mineral rights adjacent, like for oil and gas drilling and mining and things of that nature. Eric's familiar with the majority of what I'm talking about. But that's kind of what's next for me. It's kind of expanding to other real estate and real estate adjacent product types, if that makes sense.
Tommy, share about the ongoing concern with the wells that are underperforming and that vertical that we're going to try to open up. Why don't you give an overview
Yeah.
of that to the group and share how they can participate?
Yeah, it's pretty niche stuff. Just to put it in as layman's terms as to the best of my ability is just like a business or an apartment complex, it can be underperforming. You might be hovering around a 60% occupancy rate and you're, struggling to get into the black, so to speak. That can happen in the oil and gas drilling space as well. You might have some engineers that either made a mistake or a miscalculation, or they're just mismanaging their money from a business perspective, and you have these underperforming oil wells, which means you're not getting as many barrels as forecasted or desired at any given month. So what happens sometimes is these become distressed, if you will, kind of like you can have a distressed property. It's a highly lucrative spot, I mean location. But from a business perspective, they either ran out of money for bills, so to speak, or it's just being mismanaged. So that's where an opportunity lies. That's the niche aspect of it. Is I work alongside, just like in the mineral rights space, a geophysicist that evaluates these things from either a real estate valuation perspective or from an operational perspective. So for operations, I'm referring to the drilling itself, right? Not the ownership of the land. So usually, I'll kind of cut to the chase. It's these distressed properties, just like in traditional real estate, you can get at a discount, if you will, because the banks want to have some glimmer of hope to be made whole on their investment if they loan to these people, right? So if you take it over, that means their likelihood of getting paid goes up. So long story short is you can buy a distressed oil operation, just like you can buy a distressed property. And then there's significant cash flow upside for doing so.
Great for that overview. And we're going to be sharing more of those opportunities. So if you want to learn more about that, you can contact us and we'll get you a scorecard on it. You can take a look at it. Maybe you've got some investors that might want to participate. Okay, so we're here to assist in that vein. Chris Laban, we're going around the horn and we're sharing today what's new and what's next. So I'll let you be thinking about that. Mr. Smith, take the floor. Unmute.
Got to unmute first. Okay. What's new is I finally finished a year-long project with an autism group, handed them the keys to the building. Now, this is a lease on office park that I have. And in doing so, they've said that we want to work with you on other locations as soon as we get the go-ahead from corporate. These guys are out of New Jersey, by the way. And so that's an upswing. You know, it seems like I'm going to be doing a lot more tenant rep instead of acquisitions and dispositions, but hopefully I can get a good mix going with them. What's next is, and Dana, I haven't forgotten about you.
No one can forget about Dana.
I'm checking out all avenues about social media because that's above my pay grade. I don't get that stuff. I'm talking to all kinds of people just to get ideas of what they did, how they do it. I am going to come back, Dana, and schedule an appointment to talk with you. Hope maybe later this week if I get enough info together. But that's what's going on for me. I've got to get my social media up and going. It's something I've never done, and I'm a novice completely. I'm out to lunch. So that's what's next for me.
Thanks, Jeff. You can talk to all of us too about some things that we're doing that we found that are useful and helpful.
I definitely want any suggestions anybody's got help with. And I mean, I'm looking at outsourcing. I'm looking at getting with somebody and contracting with them to do it, you know, whatever. I'm going to look at all the different avenues.
I do all that. So I have a course.
I know.
I have a beginner basic course called Standout Social that teaches the very basics of how to make a reel, how to make a story, that kind of thing. And then I'm sorry, I'm so stuffed up, you guys. And then I have group coaching, I have one-on-one coaching, and then we can also kind of take over your social media for you. But really, what we do is we empower people to learn how to do it themselves, because truly, if you're paying somebody else to do it, it's not authentic and it's not really you, and you can't speak to it. And it's something that you should be touching on multiple times a day. I know that sounds like a little, like a lot for some people, but when you pay people to do your social media, it never resonates the way it does if it's just you. So we empower people to feel really comfortable with being able to post and how to do that, creating 30 days of content, how to schedule a post, and then we make it very simple for you to implement it into your business. So I'm happy to talk to you whenever you're ready.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right, Barbara, you're up. What's new? What's next?
Well, I'm in the process of, I don't know if you want to say rebranding or growing a brand, whichever, about the same thing. So I was just checking out that EXP Commercial is going to have an event in DC. So I'm excited about that. I was reaching out to Jeff Clark because I'm, close to that area. So I'm looking forward to that new announcement here in March, I guess. So I'm also expanding. I like to network, so that's something that I do a lot of, as Tommy can explain amongst many other people here. But the projects that I'm working on stem from churches and nonprofits and a little bit of multifamily and so forth. But I have a cool project going on now in which it's a combination of several things. And then I have a great mentor who does this for the past 20 years. But it's for a nonprofit, and it's essentially an off-market warehouse in which they have grant money, and we're doing a bargain sale, so that saves capital gains for the seller. And then they have some donations from some of their constituents, and then a loan and money down. So it's a great package of a mixture of things. to be in a historic building. There's a lease that's going to expire. There's a sign that they can have income from the sign for a billboard. So it's a great mixture of a little bit of everything. So I think it's a good example to show for other nonprofits and organizations that I work with, and then just to basically educate, expand on a bigger scale. Because I talked to Jeff at Real Next, so we've been having a lot of communications on some things as well. So exciting things happening.
Where are you located exactly?
I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm Pennsylvania Maryland line. I'm East Coast. So, but as we all do, we kind of work with nationally with groups or well, all over the U.S. So that's kind of a blessing. And then also I have connections with France. So I've been working with agents and over in France, and I also have a relationship with a nonprofit there as well.
Okay, fantastic. All right. Thanks. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Michael, I know you're driving. What's new? What's next? I know you shared a little bit of that last week, but uh, the floor is yours.
Okay,
He's
so
driving. There
okay,
he
yeah,
goes.
no, it's okay. I'm on self-drive, so the car's doing all the work. It's can you hear me okay? So,
Yes.
yep. Okay, cool. So I'm really just ramping up commercial, getting things off the ground. As you know, I came from residential um in December. So we've already got a few things in the works. We're just signing a listing today for it should be about a $2.6 million. It's a marina property up in Maine. It's in on the southern Maine, New Hampshire border on a really nice lake. So paperwork is out for that today. It's about 20 acres of land to develop around that area too. It's about 3 million in total
So
on
hit
that
the
one.
pause button. You're just getting a listing on a marina?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I know a buyer for a marina, so let's talk.
You.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yep, it's a super nice property. Beautiful house right on the property. Concessions, a little little food stand, guest stock, everything. It's really really nice property. So I'll get the information on that. By the way, this is all from cold calling. I have one agent on my team that on the residential side, but we pull all the expireds, and there are commercial expireds in my MLS, and so agents put them up there. A lot of times in my part of the country, up in Maine, residential agents list commercial and don't really know how to market it. They throw it in the MLS, and so we see it in there. So we listed about several properties just that way. So this is from a cold call. We have another property that we're working on, which is it's a restaurant. It's shut down, so we'll see how that one goes. But that's in Biddeford, Maine, along Route 1. It's about a $500,000 property. That's what she paid for anyway before she opened the building. Got another property in Lewiston, Maine, which is a business. It's a muffler shop along with couple extra bays. There used to be a transmission shop, but someone purchased with a residential agent, probably within the last year, and bit off more than they can chew, unfortunately, and didn't evaluate it properly, and as now running the muffler business, and needs to probably get out of that property. So we're working on that one as well. So that's what's new and what's next, I guess. So.
Well, that's great.
And then we're heading down. We're driving now. We're on our way. We're going to leaving Maine right now and coming to New Hampshire. We'll get to Charlotte, North Carolina, where my son Ben is, and then my daughter will be in Florida by the end of the week, Fort Lauderdale, for a couple of weeks down there, and then back up to Maine.
Well, you're finally coming through when the weather has broke, so you're not going to be driving through the snow.
That's right. Yeah, it's still cold up here. It's about right now. It's about 28 degrees outside the car, but it was like one degree overnight. So
You can have it. It's great to
there
have
you
you
go.
on the call.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Eric.
Tell the car full we said hello. We see several people sitting there with you.
Yeah, it's my
So,
wife, my daughter in the back, my dog, the corgi. We're all just cruising along. So
all right.
okay.
All right, Philip. So share with us what's new, what's next. Greg told us about your all's project you've got with the town and the sounds like some architect work's going into a main garage parking center. Floor's
Yeah,
yours.
quite a change for what used to be a sleepy little town way outside of Atlanta, and now it's kind of a hopping suburban node. They're, I think, very wisely trying to go with a strong pedestrian orientation there. And of course, we've got several decades of experience in different areas of architecture. We have done nightclubs and restaurants pretty extensively, so that puts us in a position, and retail, that puts us in a good position with that new little town center, and a few others that we're working on. An interesting project that we looked at recently near the Atlanta airport, Hartsfield-Jackson, is an older office building, I think built in the 1980s, that has been sitting empty. It's Class A office space. It was renovated completely about a year ago, I think, in an effort to lease it out, and has still sat empty. And the owners are, well, some potential purchasers who are clients are looking to convert this four-story office into living quarters, into condominiums. So that could be a very interesting project. We've done some preliminaries on that for them.
Will you all be at the CCC event Thursday?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
I have some commitments. I know that. And
Okay.
that about Greg.
All right.
Normally like to go to those. They're very productive and good to meet people.
Well, it's nice to have you on the call today.
Thank you.
Congratulations on the new project. All right, Mr. Sock-Laban, the coolest guy on the call. Tell us what's new, what's next for you, Chris.
Oh, no, wouldn't say that. You're pretty cool, Lewis and Clark. But you got the same bloodline of both of them. Is that right? So,
Yeah.
no, you can't top that, but I appreciate it. I'm hanging out with you guys, and then later today, I'm going to be, talking to Jim, for Zoom. And then I was just hanging out with Dana and Shelly Johnson and Charlotte, got to see the superstars on stage. So those are what's pretty new. And that was pretty exciting. Got to go to dinner and hang out during the day. And then I guess something that's new, I registered, I'm all set for EXPCon in Park City, I guess. So I'm excited about that. So got my hotel, got my tickets. I just need to book some flights. And then I'm excited about some of these build events coming too. So, but I was checking, I think Charlotte, I think they have the dates for that. But I was looking at Texas, and some of these other ones. See Tommy down there. I don't know, Tommy, do you go to those builds down there in Texas?
I haven't in Texas yet, but I could check it out.
Okay. So, but yeah, I mean, that's about it. Just hanging out with you guys and trying to get these events scheduled.
That's great to have you here. Just a little plug. If you are trying to grow your team and you've got some residential agents, Chris has got a great platform to plug them into. That can be very beneficial to them, help them grow their deal flow and transactions, and help them grow their own revenue share. So Chris is a great resource for everybody here on the call.
Hang on 1 second, Eric. Two
Yeah.
things. One, I saw you made a post about something in Tennessee, I thought, property, and I commented on it. This was in the last week. I said to share it to my Tennessee group. So I don't know if you saw that post,
I
but
didn't see the
okay.
post, and that's just one of those where we just missed it within 12 hours. We actually brought them a higher offer than what they received, and they didn't share with us. They signed an agreement elsewhere. We did not have exclusivity, but we felt like we could bring a buyer, and we missed it. But we proved ourselves to the family office who was managing the situation. And now, because the way in which we took that to market and the responses that we got, it's going to put us in a great position moving forward. So,
Perfect, man. And one more thing, the marina that Michael was talking about, are you thinking about Dana's buddy Jess?
absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So,
Yeah,
'cause
absolutely.
he was hanging out with us in Charlotte too. So,
He actually texted me Friday and said he's going to be here. Anyway, so he's not. So what's new? What's next for me? Saturday night, sitting in my chair, I got a contract, and this morning I've been drafting up the purchase sales agreement between the buyer and seller. So that's fantastic. Look to get that done. And probably what I'd like to share with the group today, as far as what's new for me, I've been really privileged to be brought into several now family offices where they represent a lot of high net worth portfolios. And in those portfolios, there's a lot of buy and sell, but also what's been brought to me is some private equity for distressed opportunities. So if you know of a project and they're a little bit out front of their skis. They could use some additional funds for a distressed project. That's what they specialize in, not just private equity, but their specialty is to come in and to assist something that's having a little bit of a problem. I've got a great resource for you. So feel free to call me. I'll make those relationships and we'll just go from there and take it from there. Today, I just wanted to practice something that you've heard me talk about. What's new? What's next? How can I be of value? How can I be of added service to you? So use that to learn who's across the desk from you. Use that to hear more of their story and then try to bring them sincere, authentic, honest, integrity-based services that can bring added value to them. That's really what I want you to walk away with today. Anybody want to close us up with anything else or any other comments this morning?
I'd like to talk to Andrew about some C-stores he mentioned. Maybe I could get your contact info, Andrew. Andy and I would like to talk to you about that. Maybe we could do some work together.
That would be great. And Tommy Bracken.
Make sure you're dropping your information in the chats and exchanging. Every person on this call should be in your inbox and you should have access to them. Dana, give us a positive word as we leave the day.
Consistency. Be consistent with what you're doing to move your business forward, whether that be posting online, whether that be reaching out to potential clients or prospects, or just things in your personal life like exercise, eating right, taking 10 minutes for yourself to meditate or journal or whatever you do. Just be consistent.
Yeah. And here we are consistently every Monday morning, 11 o'clock. We took 26 minutes of your time today to share, to collaborate, to communicate, to build a community, and hopefully we'll increase our deal flow collectively doing that. So feel free to call me, reach out to me anytime. It's great to see all your smiling faces today. Everybody have a killer week.